Life Club with Tashima Jones, the podcast, brought to you by Tashima Jones Media. Keep in mind that this content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Welcome to another session of Life Club with me, Tashima Jones. Today, we will be speaking about transitioning from survival mode into rest, aka soft living. Survival mode is a real thing, and many are highly functional in this type of lifestyle without even realizing it. It's important to note that survival mode has little to do with wealth and provisions, and so much more to do with mindset. With that being said, let's begin. As always, when we know the definition of a thing, we are better equipped to using it properly. Today's terms are limiting beliefs, letting go of fear, and the fear of letting go. Limited beliefs, no matter how big or small, literally limit or prevent you from going to a higher level in thought, speech, and action. They even impact how one experiences the present moment. Think of limiting beliefs as boundaries boxing you in and away from what can be. Now, I must say, limiting beliefs aren't the same as morals and values. Up next, we have fear. When it comes to fear, one has to discover whether or not there is a need to let go of fear, or if there is fear associated with letting go. Letting go of fear in this context refers to the process of finding the fear and then locating the truth surrounding that particular fear, which ultimately leads to letting it go, meaning that specific fear, letting go of that specific fear. Then there is the fear of letting go. This is referring to one who has done the work and found that the fear they may be experiencing is the act of letting go. The same is true here. Discovering the fear associated with letting go and then finding the truth allows one to uproot that fear. Feel free to play this back a few times to really let the differences between the two sink in. A lot of times, many may be unable to overcome fear because they have not defined and identified it. Fear shows up differently for different people, and one person may experience multiple objects of fear. It's not just this general idea of being afraid. Again, play this back a few times to get the deeper understanding if it's not already clear. All right, let's go forward. We are going to dive into survival mode. A new way to describe survival mode is grinding or the hustle culture. People may not look at it that way, but grinding is a glamorized form of struggle and toil. Look at the word grind itself. It literally means to whittle down to the bone. As mentioned in our opening, survival is more of a mindset versus having or not having material assets and or money. There are plenty of millionaires still grinding, and those who aren't would most likely say it took a while to slow down and accept that they didn't have to labor so hard. Mindset is key. If the mind is set on struggle, survival will be present no matter what your tax bracket is. Recognizing this opens a doorway to realizing that you don't have to struggle while you build. Again, struggle, like survival mode, is a way of thinking. Most often, the struggle is in the mind and only manifests itself in long hours, sleepless nights, and endless worry. It's a lifestyle. It shows up in how you think, how you speak, and how you behave. Transitioning into a softer way of life takes a shift in mindset and identity. The challenge is that the fear of lack is what's driving the sense of grinding. What people overlook is that working diligently is not the same as grinding or hustling. The energy you put into purpose will pay off, and it doesn't have to be done with this sense of hard labor. You can actually enjoy the creative process and still see productivity. Fear is oftentimes embraced by many as a motivation to accomplish their goals, but in reality, fear is a tyrant. It is associated with torment. When we become more aware of the truth in what we say and think when it comes to terms like grind and hustle, it starts to unearth the state of mind that's in operation. So when a person considers fear as a form of motivation, it also becomes hard to let go of it, mainly because it served as a foundation for how that person lived their lives. So when we get to the conversation about living a softer life and slowing down and getting more rest, we have to consider that if fear is a form of motivation, it also becomes hard to let go of it, mainly because it served as a foundation for how that person lived their lives. Most don't know who or what they'd be if they weren't motivated by fear. Now, when we look at the fear of letting go, we must understand that when you let go, you are simultaneously grabbing hold of something else. And that's the beauty in releasing toxic mindsets and behaviors. It grants the opportunity to shift into that which is profitable, fulfilling, and healthy. And so often behind the fear of letting go is this belief that there's nothing else to sustain us or to hold on to. So again, when we are letting go of a thing, we have to recognize that we are also grabbing hold of something that's more profitable for us. This actually ties into limiting beliefs. If you have believed something for years, pushing beyond that can be a challenge. Anyone who has ever experienced a shift in their thinking can confirm that the very mindset you are seeking to live in will confront those limiting beliefs. The new paradigm will shake up the old, and you as the thinker or believer will inevitably have to choose what you will grab hold of. And it's a journey of choosing to grab hold of that higher thought daily until it becomes what your mind is set to. So when we speak about soft living and how it's not a matter of glamour as much as it is a matter of rest, we have to acknowledge that rest is a lifestyle with reduced stress, anxiety, and hurry. It's what true luxury looks like. Again, those things occur in the mind first and are not attached to a bank account. When we see someone show up in these states of being, we have to track it back to their last thought. Slow living is actually the lifestyle human beings are designed for. A major issue is that the mind is capable of visualizing much more and much faster than what the physical body can produce in one sitting. The imagination and the power of vision were never meant to rush an individual, but more so to be a guide for what can be accomplished with time, patience, and what I call an expansive belief system. And that will be our topic for the conclusion of our Slow and Simple Living series. We will focus on the expansive belief system and putting into practice what we've gained over the past few sessions. Here is your life work. Consider your views on survival mode, including hustle culture and the concept of grinding, and then set aside at least 5 minutes to reflect on the following 3 questions. Would you take an opportunity that listed work until your physical body is whittled to the bone in its description? What are 1 to 3 fears you have regarding finances? And has the fear of lack been a motivational factor for working hard and neglecting rest? In regards to limiting beliefs, set aside at least 5 minutes to consider the following. Reflect on your mindset and whether or not it is made up of limiting beliefs or expansive beliefs. Remember, limiting beliefs reject change and advancement, while expansive beliefs make space for growth and higher levels of being and living. Be sure to journal your experience. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Life Club with me, Tashima Jones. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you were here with me, and for that, I am truly grateful. Be sure to share and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you are tuning in from, and find me on YouTube at Tashima Jones Media for our weekly 1-minute meditations and other video content. You're also invited to visit tashimajones.com for life coaching sessions, books, articles, courses, and free downloads. Until next time, remember your greatness. Talk soon.